The phone buzzed against his chest. Not loud, more like a cat settling on his heart. Eli opened his eyes. Dust motes drifted in the stripe of light above him like tiny planets. He was sprawled across his old recliner, the one he'd hauled from his parents' place in Ohio. The left armrest always groaned when you shifted your weight. A black shirt lay across his lap. Sneakers sat half on, half off on the floor. On the wall, the digital clock glowed red, 10:11 p.m. The screen pulsed with notifications. Danny. You, alive? We're heading out at 10:30. Steph. L, don't forget the bracelets. Entry's gonna be hell tonight. Luke. Who's sober? I've got 2 shots for the road, not driving. Mina. Booked us a table by the left stage, no being late. Mom. Sweetie, you at Steph's? Take a hoodie, nights get chilly. Eli swiped a thumb across the cracked screen protector, feeling its rough edge under his skin. From the corner TV in his Nashville one-bedroom, a low ad droned. The voice promised a salvo of pleasure and a night without limits. Perfect timing. The 8 nightclub was reopening after its remodel. Flyers boasted cold spark shows, new line arrays, confetti storms. Miles Avenue feeds were lit up about nothing else. He sat up. The recliner gave its lonely creak. From the kitchen drifted the citrusy smell of orange slices. Half a bowl sat on the table, next to deodorant, his keys, and a silicone VIP 8 bracelet. Tonight, as Danny liked to say, they were going all in. On the stove, water hissed. He'd left the kettle on again. Eli shut it off, padded to the bathroom. The bulb flickered, old dimmer acting up, then steadied. The mirror gave him back a tired face, week-old stubble, gray eyes. On the shelf sat a gray Bic lighter. He flicked it. A spark flared and died without catching. Not a sign, he muttered, just out of gas. Outside, a V6 engine rumbled. Danny's. Eli went to the window. The lot lived its usual quiet life, a white cat darting between dumpsters, the unsmiling veteran neighbor in his USMC cap, a white premium fireworks van unloading boxes at the sports bar next door. His eyes lingered on the stenciled words across one box, Roman candles. Danny, we're under your window. 5 minutes, then we're gone without you. Eli yanked on the shirt, pocketed his wallet and bracelet, shoved his feet into sneakers, killed the TV mid-sentence. The front door creaked, the building door slammed, and the night wrapped him in its cool gasoline-tinged air. Danny grinned wider than necessary. Sleeping Beauty's up, don't freeze, get in. Inside the Camry, Steph and Mina already gleamed, hair fresh from the salon. Luke hugged 2 mini fireballs like babies. A couple of sparklers lay on the rear shelf, last night's rehearsal for New Year's probably. Fireworks? Eli asked with a nod. Stage props, Luke winked. Gift from the bar next door. Danny turned the key. The engine hummed low and carried them toward downtown. First came the smell. Not sharp, but ancient, like someone opening the door to a barn where wood had burned for a lifetime. Then, a tiny flash to the left. Acoustic panels hung there, soft foam under fabric. A spark slipped into the seam by the air vent. Eli saw it, as if fire were thinking where to crawl. And then it found the path. The foam inhaled the heat, darkened, then flared like paper splashed with gasoline. Eli bolted for the bar, yelling, "Water, extinguisher!" But the bass slammed down like an ice block. Nobody heard him. At the edge of the crowd, a ripple of stiffened necks. Someone laughed. Someone filmed. On stage, Rita jumped from behind the board, killed the cold spark, tried to cut the feed, but the fire was already crawling inside. "Sprinklers!" Eli screamed, looking up. The ceiling looked like a showroom. Rows of gray sprinkler heads that were supposed to weep when the time came. They didn't. From a couple, the opposite. Dark seepage, as if someone had shut the supply and the heads dried out. Someone, or no one, just cost savings, had left the system dry. Fire code lived on paper somewhere, but not here. The first real scream tore through the music. The sound dropped, master to zero. Only voices left. The crowd still swayed by inertia, then lunged for the exits, and slammed into them. "Right side, calm," the security yelled, but his voice couldn't soften panic. The panic hardware on the right door didn't click at once. Before the click, someone's ribs met someone's collarbone, someone's jaw hit someone's shoulder. On the floor, something thin, a belt, no, a lost VIP wristband. Someone's heel snapped, someone's phone shattered, hearts glowing across the screen. "This way." Eli grabbed Steph, Luke, Danny, Mina, linked like kids in a crosswalk. Kitchen, back door. The fire was already riding the air. HVAC pulled hot gases, carrying heat to the far corner. The air turned sharp. Someone yanked a red extinguisher, dead, needle at zero. Another, black CO2, spat white frost, but it was nothing, like a mint drop against acid rain. The kitchen smelled of grease and knives. Someone pounded the back door. Open. Someone dropped to their knees, crawling under tables, air thinner, closer to the floor. Eli yanked the handle of the back exit, chained with a padlock, a stupid, everyday, idiotic chain, so people don't wander. Danny slammed a shoulder, iron rattled and almost laughed. Luke bit the lock with his teeth. Mina wasn't filming anymore, just clung to Eli's arm. Back, left side, upstairs, dressing rooms. Eli led them on. The stairs were sticky with oil and sweat. Above them, fire found a chandelier, plastic, crystal, dripping hot tears. The dressing room, tight and empty. Dancers had made it out, or not. A small window, high up, barred, not for thieves, who would rob this place, but for style. Danny vaulted the sill. "Boost me!" Eli braced his shoulder. Both toppled. The bars ripped away with paint. The frame opened. Not enough. Luke squeezed first, stuck. Eli shoved. He tumbled out like a sack. Steph followed. Mina scrabbled air with her legs. Eli set his palms to the sill. Heard a dry thud below. Something fell. He looked. A box. That box. Roman candles. Someone had stashed them in the green room for the finale. Now it slid off the table, cracked open, sticks wobbling. A small flame from a cable reached in, like a letter delivered to the right address. The first shot punched the ceiling, lodging in foam. The second ricocheted into Eli's shoulder. Warmth, not pain. The third hit a box of hairspray. What had been ordinary became explosive. "Jump!" Danny shoved. Eli braced, wanted to push him instead, but Danny held Mina. Go! Eli jumped. The outside air was cold, like a second birth. Luke caught him. Steph was already pulling at the door to drag the others. Mina spilled through. The train of her dress flared like a paper comet tail. Eli slapped it out. She collapsed into his arms. Danny climbed, and that's when the dressing room exhaled downward. The blast wasn't a cinematic fireball, just a shove, like inside a drum. Air blasted from the club like from lungs. Eli hit asphalt hard. He saw confetti and shards of plastic shoot into the night. A roof truss slammed nearby. Smoke didn't rise. It crawled. Luke laughed without sound. Fear makes laughter and sobbing identical. Eli grabbed the window ledge. Danny's hands were there, halfway inside. He pulled. Danny heavy as wet laundry. Almost. And then somewhere under the stage, a Roman candle punched a propane tank in the kitchen. The short fire burst turned the air into a hammer. Danny vanished. Not fell, vanished, as if flame ate the corner of the room. Eli's hands closed on nothing. Steph screamed. Someone dragged her back. Mina clawed asphalt. Luke staggered, collapsed. Through smoke, Eli saw Rita, the pyrotech, at the entrance, extinguisher blasting. She hadn't left. He kept her in memory as a single bright dot, like a firefly. "Noah," Eli said, not aloud. The boy was home alone, always alone, But tonight alone rang sharp. He yanked out his phone, the screen unresponsive, fingers slick, glass slippery. He walked, past those dialing 911 and landing in hold queues, past those groaning, past those praying, toward the car, and then, behind him, air lifted, flipped with fire, struck like a thought no helmet can stop. The world sealed into a sheet. Eli had time for one thought, now, like before a jump, and now became never. Silence didn't arrive at once. Black smoke let it in by the hand. It hesitated, then came. Ambulance carved sirens. Fire yelled one word. Water. Line. Hands worked without words. Phones filmed. Tomorrow they'd say, inspections were a joke. Building code, NFPA, life safety. But in this second the world was only hot and empty, and in the middle of that emptiness lay Eli. The phone buzzed against his chest, not loud, more like a cat settling down on his heart. Eli opened his eyes. Dust motes in the strip of light hung above him like tiny planets. He was sprawled across the old recliner. The left armrest creaked. A black shirt lay across his lap. Sneakers sat half on at the floor. On the wall, the red digits glowed. 10:11 p.m. The screen blinked. Danny. You alive? We're leaving at 10:30. If you made it all the way to the end, then you're exactly the kind of person I'm looking for. Hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to me. I hope I can keep bringing you more stories, to make you smile, or maybe, to scare you.